Thank you for listening to The Afternoon Pint. We are an independent podcast and we need your support. Please take a moment to hit that like, follow, and share button. Email us if you have an idea or suggestion for the show. Please send your feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome to The Afternoon Pint. I'm Mike Dobin.
I'm Matt Conrad.
And I'm Donna Williamson.
All right, Donna. All right.
Who is Donna Williamson?
Well, she is a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a podcast creator and host, and a CEO of Habitat for Humanity Nova Scotia.
That's pretty awesome. So
That's a lot of things.
A lot of things.
A lot of things.
Habitat for Humanity Nova Scotia. I mean, I volunteered for Habitat for Humanity. I mean, I just got a tour before we came into here to see
The ReStore.
the ReStore, which is so cool.
Yeah,
Like,
that's an awesome concept.
I had so many ideas for my own home walking through it. Like, man, I could do something with, I have to do something with my bathroom light.
Have you been in before?
What?
Was that your first time in?
A long time, but I never knew it went so deep. I only thought there was that.
He was like, are we allowed to go back? He was like, if you want to buy things.
Honest to God, yeah, I didn't know you could actually go into like an entire warehouse at the
Oh,
back.
yeah, it's 15,000 square feet.
It's massive, yeah. So all this goes towards building homes for folks, and I mean, there's a lot of misconceptions, and we'll get into them about Habitat for Humanity. But I mean, I think the coolest thing is like it builds homes for people in an innovative way where the person really helps. They pay a mortgage. They're part of the build process.
Yeah.
They're part of every process along the way. It just gives them that little bit of extra help that they need to make unaffordable, unattainable homes affordable for some. Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. What we're doing is removing those barriers because we still have to sell the homes at fair market value. We're regulated under CRA. So
yeah, I think that's what some people think. Like we're just building homes and giving them to people. I think that's what people think. Yeah.
Well, that's the misconception about Habitat is people used to think we gave houses away, but we absolutely don't. We're just trying to create a pathway to home ownership, removing barriers like a down payment, and we do have interest-free mortgages. So it really helps, the middle class, working class people who trying to save up a down payment now, especially with the cost of housing, right? It's becoming, although there is a few incentives now that are happening, but it's still a challenge. And then they have to volunteer.
Could have moved your mic a little closer. I'm so sorry. Yeah, thanks. No problem. I'll turn you up a bit too. No. Yeah.
I'm always saying this. So they're required to do 500 volunteer hours. We hope that it's on the build site, but sometimes families are selected a little later in the build process.
Okay.
So they don't really have the opportunity to help build, but it's mandatory that they volunteer in the community because it's about building community and a sense of community. So
because we're giving back,
exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. How many homes do you guys think you might have built in Nova Scotia right now? Or is it a hard number to kind of get?
In Nova Scotia, we've built 80 homes since we started. We were building like 1 or 2 homes a year with volunteer labor, but we realize now that with the housing crisis that we really want to increase that impact. And how can we increase the impact and still have that community feel, the volunteer aspect? Because I mean, when you think of Habitat, you think of Jimmy Carter and a bunch of volunteers lifting up that frame for the outside of a house, right?
Yeah.
And so we don't want to take that away, but we also know that building 1 or 2 homes a year isn't going to help with the housing crisis.
Well, it was a problem for 10 or 20 years ago, but I think the problem's just changed so much in the last couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Like it's changed so rapidly too. So your entire charity model probably had to really say, oh gosh, what we used to have to do for people, we need to do a heck of a lot more now or do it differently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with a focus, it's really important that families have the right income to support the mortgage because we want families to be successful, right? We want families to have their house paid off in the 20 years that their term is for. And we also want them to be building that equity and that generational wealth because that is the purpose of home ownership. If not, everybody would be renting and you're putting your money into rent. So, really getting back to the essence of what home ownership not only does for the economy and the family, or not just the families, but also the economy as a whole in your community.
And man, I forgot before. What bar are we at today? I forgot. What pub?
We're at the Habitat for Humanity bar.
Oh, so we're usually at a pub, but we got some cool craft beer at least. What do we have?
So Habitat the ReStore is in Burnside. So come on down. I do it's true. I got a tour here a couple weeks ago, and I actually totally misunderstood what the ReStore was for. I actually thought it was something that was like designed for people who were in need, kind of thing. So I never set foot in here up until a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago. And then I came here, had a little tour around, and was like, this is genius. This is awesome. So basically anyone can come here, get things for a pretty discounted price, and all that money goes towards to help people. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So lighting, tiles, I saw,
everything.
Gosh, everything back there.
Electricals, couches,
furniture.
there
was
cabinets,
tables and chairs.
Everything.
Yeah.
So we decided to do it here. And because you're in Burnside, just down the road is Burnside Brewing. So we got some Burnside Brewing beers just to kind of all support local.
You're having their Killick Pilsner, which is one of my favorites that they make.
I like it.
It's just
really
a
good.
chill, light beer, right?
Yeah.
Very, very crushable
And
beer.
I've never had this one, Matt. What are you having?
Yeah, so this is their milk stout. It's awesome. It's pretty toasty, man. I think you'd like it.
Yeah, and I think you'd like this, dude. The Down South Tropical Lager. I never had that before.
I haven't had that one either, I don't think.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
So there you go. So yeah. So back to this. So you were talking about homeownership. And so is the goal to house people, or is the goal to create homeowners?
Our goal is to create a pathway to homeownership.
Okay.
So homeownership, whether it is deferred homeownership, which is kind of like an equity building rent to own, or through straight homeownership, but it is a pathway to homeownership.
Yeah, because that's, I think, another thing that people don't really realize is like, what's the goal? Homeownership or just housing people? Because if your job is to house people, well, you could build a whole bunch of things and just house people, right? Some people may say that could be a good way to go. I'm kind of a socialistic capitalist, as you may say, whereas like I think it's okay to have rich people, but it's not okay to have poor people.
Right.
And, some of the things that other places in the world, other jurisdictions in the world, is that like governments or not-for-profits or charitable organizations are actually building homes or like, places to live, whether it be condos or things like that, and providing those to people so that nobody is homeless while still encouraging people to become millionaires, kind of thing. So but I think that's the difference. Some people think like they look at Habitat for Humanity and they're thinking, oh, they're just building homes and they're getting people in those homes and stuff like that. But your idea is not just to house them, but actually like lift them up into a different bracket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, home ownership changes the whole like pathway to like whether it's education or health or, I'm actually so passionate about it because I grew up, my parents divorced when I was 7 and my family moved back from Dartmouth to Pictou County. And my mother was very fortunate in the mid 70s, CMHC had a program where low income families could purchase a brand new house, no down payment, and the first 5 years were subsidized. Without that program, my mom and my 2 sisters, we would never have owned a home. My mom was a stay-at-home mom when my parents divorced and started washing dishes at the hospital, in the Aberdeen hospital. She would never have been able to afford that. That changed our entire life, right? From moving from rentals, living with our grandparents, moving from rentals, and that home now, my sister owns it, and she raised her son in it. Right. So it's pretty cool how home ownership can really change your life and the path that.
And you never know where people could end up being. I mean, you can always overcome things, but it's harder to overcome things. Like, if say, who knows, like, maybe you're not CEO of Habitat for Humanity because your single parent mother had to go somewhere else, live somewhere else, be in an environment that was not always like maybe the best. People don't realize how environment can really you never know what you're kind of pushing down on people and ruining that mentality, right?
Is this why you think you kind of got into this role eventually? Like, what did you do before this, becoming like CEO of this organization?
Well, for the last 22 years, I spent in not-for-profit in a like executive director or CEO role.
Okay, wow.
I originally started out in like finance and marketing. And then when I had my daughter 22 years ago, I'm like, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, I think, that was my goal. And my ex-husband and I set it up so that I was able to stay home. And I was home for a year. And somebody approached me that had worked with me. I used to work at Neptune Theatre, and they approached me and said, I'm on this board of directors for this organization, and we're looking for an executive director. And I'm like, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't want to work. And then they said to me, well, we just need someone to come in and do some change management and transitioning, and you'd be the best person. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Like, how am I the best person when I don't even know what that means?
Yeah.
And so anyway, I gave in and I said, you know what, I'll do it. It was November. I said, I'll do it until the end of March. And then I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Anyway, I stayed there for 7 years.
Oh my gosh.
And I moved on to another not-for-profit, was there for 5 years, moved on into a national organization.
What was this first task, this change management position? What were they trying to get you to do, if you can think back, kind of?
Well, they were in a deficit, running a deficit. They had never had anyone run the organization with a business background. It was, a social work background. And they had 2 locations. Overhead was really expensive. And so they just asked me, if I could kind of do an analysis.
Look at it from a business mindset and see if you could make it work.
Exactly.
Make it stay afloat. Yeah.
And I was really fortunate. We were able to do that. And when I left that organization, we had a nice investment savings account. And so really proud of that legacy. It was actually in Spryfield. It was, at the time, it was a single parent center and the home of the guardian angels. So it was an adoption agency.
Yeah. Oh, right on.
And a family resource center.
Cool.
So the new building, I don't know if I know you've done some stuff out there. The single parent center was this tiny rundown bungalow, and we needed a renovation. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to run a capital campaign for 6 weeks, try to raise as much money as I can. Like if we could raise 50.
And this was before the days of social media, right?
Before the days of
social media. You hear that, kids?
Media.
So how did you do this?
Oh, a lot of like letters and knocking on doors. But my goal was to raise $50,000 in 6 weeks, and we raised $250,000.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Wow. And knocking on doors and letters, and people just saw value in it.
And just asking them, like inviting them to come and tour the facility, because it really needed,
that makes them a part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they would see, like I would take them in and show them the childcare room with the leak in the ceiling, and show them 5 staff in one little tiny office. And so they all donated more than what I asked for. And that building, every time I drive down the Herring Cove Road and I see that blue building that, I was a part of, that renovation.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I drive past that every day. Right? Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. I'm running a campaign right now. I think I want Donna to join my team. Holy smokes.
Yeah. So Matt's running a fundraising campaign right now.
I'm doing that for blood
cancer.
Leukemia and lymphoma. So So there you go.
That's amazing. So, but there's a lot of kind of good lessons in there, like, applying a business mindset to charity sometimes, because, when we have all the passion in the world, sometimes that can falter us and we're trying to do everything, but how do we make it make sense? And keep it going?
Because it is a business. Just, we're delivering services, but we have to have that business mindset. If not, we're not going to make it. We're not going to have that sustainability. Yeah. And it was very interesting, going there. I remember the first time going there, and, I was used to the financial industry, so we had to dress up all the time. Yeah. And I dressed down, but I wasn't like I am today.
Right.
And I was driving, a newer vehicle, and people, when I went in there, they're like, you have no idea, you've come from a place of privilege. You drive in here with your SUV and your nice clothes. And I'm thinking, you have no idea what my background is. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
No, yeah. And something else.
It's really funny when you put a suit on sometimes and you go to certain events, people assume that you're an entirely different person. If they're looking from the outside, they just see that person going up the stairwell in a suit or in a dress, or
No, exactly.
They don't always look and see that person might have been through the exact same troubles and found a different path.
Yeah. There's different privileges. Obviously, there's visual privileges and then non-visual privileges and everything like that. So that's the thing. It's it leads to an interesting conversation about like how should it be someone like yourself in those roles versus someone who has never lived those, right? Like, do you have to be, in order to be in a role that's helping people lift people out of like, in a housing crisis, do you need someone who has lived through that, do you think?
I hope you're enjoying a pint with us. We'll be right back. Your dream home does not have to be just a dream. Today's show is brought to you by Camilla Najat of Exit Realty Metro. Camilla is the realtor who knows how to get things done. Buying or selling? Go to afternoonpint.ca and we will help with a personal introduction. That's afternoonpint.ca/Camilla to make your dreams become a reality.
I don't think you need somebody who's lived through it. I think I have a little bit of an advantage, maybe. But I have to tell you, in the 22 years that I've been working in not-for-profit, it's been my teams that have really taught me, right? They're the ones working the front line. And so, I might come in with a certain perception and they're like, Donna, like, it's A or B. Like, why are you doing C? And I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. And so I have to say, like, I feel really grateful and fortunate that I've learned so much from the people I've worked with in every different role I've had in the not-for-profit world, because I'm learning every single day. Yeah.
So like now, going back to today, I mean, what's the path forward for Habitat for Humanity now, in your opinion, like with the homes and the buildings and, the way things have changed?
Right. For us, like, we're really looking at, again, it's that impact and how can we do it? Like, everybody wants to be able to do it, do more, do it faster, right? So really what we're looking for are partnerships with either different not-for-profits, developers, because we're really looking at more of a turnkey unit with aspects of volunteering. So we don't want to take that away, but we do know that if we continue to build the way we've been building, we're not going to build any more than, the 1 or 2 houses a year. So you have to change what you're doing if you want the outcome to change.
Are we in the path now where the only way forward is like I saw yesterday, like the micro homes or whatever you want to call them?
Yeah, that's what I was getting
Is this the only path forward now, where we see these so many mini homes? There was a company in Nova Scotia that was producing a home every 2 weeks or something for a period of time.
Something like that.
I just read about it the other day, and I can't cite the article because I don't remember where
that's something, and like kind of a B-side to that question, because that's what I was wondering too, is like, is there anywhere where you guys are building, like, say, like condos that you could sell people as opposed to just full single family homes?
It's in our radar.
Okay.
There's other affiliates Habitat affiliates across Canada that are definitely in the condo.
They're doing that now.
Path, especially in the larger cities. Like
that's what I was wondering.
Edmonton or Toronto, it's going to be pretty hard to get a house for anyone. Almost
exactly.
At this point.
Right.
Yeah.
You can be making really good money and you can't afford a house.
You're making amazing
really
money.
Sucks.
You can't afford it there.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So. But to get back to your question about like the micro mini homes, that's not the market we're in, right? Those are really like the deeply affordable or rentals. We are very focused on home ownership and on the middle class. And so we're looking at, more diversity in what we're building. So not always a 3-bedroom home. Maybe it's a 2-bedroom townhouse, or maybe, maybe it's stackable townhouses and you have a mix of 1 and 2 bedrooms, maybe a 3-bedroom, because, we've also redefined what a family looks like. So
that was another thing I was going to ask about. Like, is it just for families, or can a single person apply for it? Like, it's just someone who's like on their own. Like, what does the demographic look like for people who can like apply to get a home?
Right. So a few years ago, our definition of a family was somebody who had children. We've changed that because that is not the reality of our world anymore. So as long as you self-identify as a family, so maybe it's, a mom
and 9 cats.
And And 9 cats,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You
as
went
long
for
as-
9. Like, couldn't
Has to
just
be
be
9.
2.
Yeah, not 7.
Yeah.
9. But a lot of families are
Fur babies.
Yeah.
babies.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know if my kids will ever leave the house now because they'll never be able to afford one.
Well, that's something I think about too. Like we're raising somebody now too. She's 14, and I'm like, gosh, well, she wants to be a doctor, so I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to take care of you.
She might. She just knows I'm going to fall apart in a few years. Yeah, but yeah, no, it's like thinking about that. Like it's unaffordable now, right? And it's not getting better, right? I don't see a path forward here. So maybe what Habitat's doing is the right thing to still advocate for ownership. And I mean, it's something honestly I didn't really think about before sitting here today. Like ownership that's a really important part, because once everyone loses ownership, and what's next? And everyone's just renting, or everyone's just we're going away from a mortgage world at that point.
And I think we do need like people to build like lower income housing or housing that people are going to just on a rent and everything. It's a different mission though, right? Getting people to ownership is actually allowing them to build wealth because they're building equity, which means that there's
Something to give to that. You know what I mean? If they pass it down, or or if they have the ability to pass it down to the next generation or whatever.
Not everyone can afford that though, right? Like if you're working for minimum wage, not everyone can afford that.
100%.
But those people still need houses, or they need homes, right?
Yeah.
They need, whatever that looks like, whether it be mini homes or condos or apartments or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there would be a nice way to see, and we're just talking freely here, like a way for everyone to acquire ownership towards something at some point in their lives. Like and maybe that's just an impossible equation right now. But like the thing is we're so far away from that now. We're almost at the polar opposite.
No,
of
you're
that,
right. Yeah.
that now, right? Which is a scary thing. Like, so it'd be nice to see that pendulum start to swing the other way, where more people can have ownership of their homes or their condos, wherever the heck it is.
Or at least the option, right?
Yeah.
To have the option to be a homeowner.
Yeah.
And and if we're building, because I think with the housing continuum, every part of that continuum is important. But if one of those blocks get pulled out, then you're stuck. So right now we are stuck between, rental and market housing.
Right.
And so that's where Habitat comes in. We need that bridge. And if we can build affordable homeownership pathways for people, even if they're in a Habitat home for 10 years, they build their equity, they can move into the open market. And then the person who's in the market rental can move into a Habitat home. So you just keep the continuum moving. But right now, we've almost pulled out that it's the missing middle. You'll hear that term all the time.
I've heard,
missing middle. And, when growing up, our parents were, well, at least mine were middle class.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And homeownership, like, I don't think I knew anybody who was renting when I grew up in the 80s.
If you were middle class, you had a home.
You had a home.
No,
100%.
that's very true.
In the 80s,
yeah. Renting was, for younger people or maybe single people or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you were married and had kids, but married, just married a lot, oftentimes, you had a home, right? You had a house that you were buying, right? It's true.
Yeah. And like, we're getting to the point, I have a 31-year-old son, and he was living off the Herring Cove Road. And he ended up, his rent just kept going up and up and up. And he ended up moving to Toronto and has a better wage, doing the same, working as a chef, has a better wage in Toronto, lives in a really nice area of Toronto, and pays the same amount he was paying on Herring Cove Road.
Now, what was he paying in Herring Cove Road?
So he was living on Macintosh Street.
Okay, I know, yeah.
And when he first moved into the 2-bedroom, it was $1,300, and then it went up to $2,150.
$2,150 when he left. And how long was he there for? Do you know, or can you remember?
He was there for a few years.
So only a few years.
Only a few years.
Shapers.
Yeah, and so
that's ludicrous.
Isn't that crazy?
$2,100.
And do you think his income went up to that ratio that he would be able to supplement that being a chef? Honestly, it hasn't. There's no way it would have. Yeah.
And I'm going to be like, from the Spryfield region, Macintosh, no place in Macintosh should be $2,100. Like, let's be honest here. They're older buildings and things like that. Like,
No,
they're not
I agree.
newly
The
developed
buildings need a little bit of
buildings.
love in that area, right?
Yeah,
You know,
right? Like,
to
that's
say gently,
crazy.
right? And
Yeah.
I think anybody would agree with that,
Yeah.
right? I know McIntosh too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, they've done the lipstick on the
Yep,
inside.
of course,
Right?
yeah.
It looks nice. The apartment looked nice. But to go from 1,300 to 2,100, I was going to say 1,000.
It's expensive paint.
2,100. Yeah, it's really expensive paint.
Yeah. That is really unfortunate because, one, we lose somebody who's, going somewhere else. Also, I think of it like, as a parent, I think of it as like, well, I want my kid to stay here, right? Like, selfishly,
Right, absolutely.
I want my kid to stick around, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
as a
100%.
parent, you don't want to lose your kid to somewhere else.
And I mean, it's somewhat natural for kids to fantasize about living somewhere else when they grow up. But at the same time, to think that it's impossible to live where they're growing up in their teenage years is also an equally kind of crappy thing. To think that there's no opportunity where they are because it's too expensive. They can't do what they want, and it's too tough.
And it's particularly, like, what makes me kind of a little bit upset about it is that we're actually seeing rents come down across the country, except in Halifax. So there's something else going on here. Like, they're saying, like, I've heard some things where like, oh yeah, rent's coming down a little bit, or they're offering certain things, right? Like, apparently, I'm not in the rental market, but apparently we're seeing, I've heard that we're going back to that, like, first month free, what we used to, I was renting like 10, 11 years ago.
Oh yeah.
They're back to that here. Yeah. But like,
that's because they can't get people in the door anymore with the double down payment, right?
Yeah, you're legally only allowed to have half a month's payment,
or whatever it is.
But even still, giving someone a month free and then turning around and charging them like $2,100 for a 1-bedroom apartment, it's not worth it. Math ain't math in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other thing that today too, we have to talk about, like, people also. I mean, in life or in love, you might decide you don't want to live with your other partner at some point, or you might break up, and then you want safe avenues for people that they decide, hey, if me and my partner aren't working out, my life shouldn't be immediately over, right? Because it's like, because how can a single person afford that anymore? You almost need a dual income to survive.
Are you trying to segue to her podcast? Is that what that was?
Which is a perfect segue to your podcast.
Well, it is.
Why don't we just go right there? Because I don't think there'd be a better time to do that.
No, that's a perfect time.
Let's do it. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your podcast.
That was really, really good, man.
Thank you.
I must say, yeah. So, yeah, you have a podcast.
I do. Yeah.
Competing with us, too.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Thanks for the beer.
Yeah.
No problem.
What I like about your podcast is, and I said this to you, is that, since we're all having some drinks here, I like that your podcast also encourages drinking. Because in the first episode, like 3 minutes in, it was like, these are the conversations that we have after the second glass of wine. And I was like, okay, I think I'm going to like this.
It's cooler than us. We're like basically just cracking our first one.
Yeah,
in our
exactly.
show.
I know. They're already lit.
The wine glasses are smaller. These are tall cans.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, tell us about your podcast. Tell us, what inspired it and what it's all about.
Well, it's called the She Shed Unfiltered. Mm-hmm. And I recently, a year ago, went through a breakup. Not only a breakup, my car caught fire, wasn't insured. My well collapsed. It was $34,000 to fix. Oof. And my sister passed away very suddenly of cancer.
Wow. So you had all the shit happen at once.
All the shit happened at once.
Oh, man.
And my friends, especially after my ex-partner just got up and left without any kind of conversation, I fell apart. Literally fell apart.
Oof, rightfully so. That's a lot of things.
Yeah. And my friends came over and literally picked me up, came in and checked on me every single day and made sure I was okay and supported me.
Amazing.
And my coworkers, the same. Like, I would show up at work, not maybe 40%, and they were there supporting me. So, I'm so grateful for that. And then the other side was that we had a tool shed in our backyard that we had a dartboard and a fridge, and we would go out there on a Friday night. We called it Nellie's. Our dog was Nellie. And
It's like Dirty Nellies is going to sue you. No.
well, our dog was named after Dirty Nellie.
Oh, no way. Okay,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
Cool.
And
All
so
right.
we'd just make a joke. You know, we'd come home. We're like, hey, do you want to go to Nellie's for the night? And we're like, yeah, let's go to Nellie's. So we just hang out there, and our friends love to come out. And after he left, I couldn't go in the shed. So I'd go there, and I would just fall apart and cry.
Wow.
And I thought, I'm going to have to burn this down or like tear it down because it's just too hard to see it. And it was a day in June. I think it was just after my birthday. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to go out and buy some pink paint. And I bought pink paint, painted the door. And then it just started. And I'm like, it started to become like a safe place for me.
Yeah.
And I would sit there and my friends would come over and we would just sit and talk about like anything. Like sometimes I would cry and sometimes we would be laughing. And then I just thought I could never have done this without my friends. And then I'm like, maybe I'm going to write a book. Like I want to do something to like tell my story more as like a healing journey, but also to help other people. And then I'm like, I'm going to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's how the podcast came about. It was more of how like I want other people to know that they have support. And I was very fortunate to have an amazing group of friends and an amazing group of coworkers, but not everybody is that fortunate.
Right.
And so what we talk about are like real things, real conversations, and they're hard. Some of them are hard. And, afterwards, I do feel like, I might cry or I might reflect and go like, God, I've come a long way in 12 months. Right.
Do you know, in your first episode, something that I like really took away that I thought was really interesting, I guess kind of two things, is one, you talked about how men should be seeking help more, which I thought was really important because a lot of people are going to think of this as oh, we're just going to drink wine and like shit on men. But
we don't do that once. We are maybe not. It's not like a man bashing podcast.
No, it's not. It really isn't. I mean, I didn't feel that way listening to that first episode. In fact, actually encouraging people to go get help, I think is a good thing. And so that's one, and because you talked about how people who like are the victims of people who hurt people, like the people who hurt people should probably be the ones going and get help, but it's more often the victims of the people who like get hurt, or whatever, who seek the help kind of thing, right? And how much better of a society could we be if like the people who are hurting, who want to hurt others, just got the help, right?
Right.
So I thought that was really interesting. And because I actually, with Mike and I getting diagnosed in the last year with ADHD, I actually did a 14-week long therapy session.
Is that done now?
Done.
Did you get a certificate?
I'm now ADHD.
Yeah, exactly. You mean like I'm certified?
Well, we were both certified. We both got certified last year.
No,
but do you get like a diploma?
Yeah, I think I could have filled
the
through
program.
whatever. Yeah, I think you get something, but I don't.
Cool.
Not anyway.
No,
but
just joking. Man.
But one of the things that you talked about on the podcast, I was something that I actually brought up in the session. Because we were talking about different personality types and things like that and defense mechanisms. Anyway, you talked about narcissism and how you question yourself whether you would be if you are a narcissist or not. And you know what the funny thing is that I brought that up in my sessions because I was like sometimes I do so many things, right? And I'm kind of like, am I making like life about me a lot because I am doing so many things and I'm like, right, where my brain goes. And I was like, am I a narcissist? Do I think everything should be around me? And the therapist said, the fact that you are asking that of yourself means you are not a narcissist, because a narcissist would never ask that of
They would
themselves.
never see that. They would never see that characteristic. And yeah. And that's what my therapist told me, because I'm like, what did I do wrong? Maybe because,
Cool. So I'm not a narcissist, check. Because I've done the same thing. I've done the exact same thing both of you just said. I've actually said, because I look at you, I get YouTube ads. They're like, are you a narcissist? I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then I'm like doing it wants me to do a quiz or something, right? And but no, I'm not.
Totally trust the YouTube narcissist.
Those ads.
Quiz.
You don't see those? Oh.
No.
I've never gotten it.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying, Probably don't trust those.
Yeah, no.
We're all gonna have those ads come up on our
exactly. Our
phones.
phones are
now,
all listening.
right?
Are you a
Yeah.
narcissist? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that along with the bidet.
No, but I
ads.
read a lot about certain psychology archetypes, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos around all that stuff. So it's probably why the ads were
They're
coming.
there.
Yeah, but no, that's really interesting. So you looked at that yourself?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was going to therapy like every week,
Good for you.
and I was starting to like, what did I do wrong? Why won't he talk to me about?
So you
anything?
beat yourself up because of
I was beating myself up, and I'm like, was I not supportive enough? Was I, my job takes a lot, and I come home and I do talk about work a lot, right? I'm just like, and sometimes it's like, oh my God, like we did this today, it was so good, it was this, it was that, like, and then I'm like,
Could
do
I ask you
talk-
this? Like, when you said those things, like, was your partner like, oh, yeah, wow, excited? Or was he like, kind of like, I wish you'd shut the fuck up?
He usually cut me off and would tell me about a similar situation he had. Right?
okay.
So I was never really able to finish what I was saying because it was like, oh no, I like that happened. A similar thing happened to me, and in my head, I would be like, would you just shut up? No. But I think that when somebody leaves you abruptly, or when somebody betrays you in any way, you start to question yourself, right? You start to question, like, what's wrong with
you
me?
immediately
right?
think it's about you.
Absolutely.
I think I would do the same thing.
Yeah. Right. What did I do? Like, why couldn't he have like given me, like, after 7 years, why couldn't he have given me the respect to at least say, like, this is why, rather than every time I try to reach out, he's like, I don't have the energy for this right now. Like, just give me space, just do this. And so after 3 or 4 weeks, you're like, okay, he's not talking. Obviously he wants out. Right. But it does, like, I was a pretty confident person. It kind of rattles you. Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think for the most part, unless I guess you're a narcissist.
Well, it sounds like a maturity issue of some sort. Like, you got to kind of give people the respect, even if
it's a hard conversation. It's
Yeah.
an avoidant, a characteristic of an avoidant, which I didn't even know until I started therapy.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's an avoidant? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that makes kind of sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, we went through all that too. There's like 10 different types of like things that people do to
I want to take this course that you did.
defense mechanisms. I think I have them. I have them in the notes somewhere on my phone,
Yeah.
but because I took them all down because like it's like they asked you to like reflect on yourself, and like I totally I compartmentalize 100%. Right. I definitely I'm someone who kind of likes to deflect, kind of thing. Right. It's kind of like no. Let's not worry about that. Like I don't like to live in like the unhappy. Or like
Okay.
I'm that way where I'm just kind of like that's unhappy, like let's not live there, kind of thing. Because I'm generally try to be always in a happy mood, kind of thing. But definitely I compartmentalize, so I can easily put things in boxes and just move on.
People think I'm weird because I like living in like I like being pissed off about something for a minute. I'm like, would you want to
That's
just
fun,
let me
though.
be pissed off
That's
about this
fun.
for a minute? And that's going to help me get over it. Because having emotions towards things is okay.
It
like,
is, right?
I really think it's
100%
healthy.
is.
And I taught myself to do that. Like I didn't know how to do that, but like being like, we had example this morning. I was mad about something. About this. I won't get into it in this show.
No.
But it was like, without me being mad about it, it wouldn't have gotten resolved. Right.
No,
So
it's true.
I was like, we're going to talk about this. And but first I had to state, how would you do this calm? And I've been meditating a lot this year,
Okay.
right? Like, so we got,
You meditated before you
I meditated before I saw his text. Matt showed me something and it just like set me, he wouldn't know. I was pissed when I saw it. Probably too mad, which I still got to work on. But
He got more mad than I really thought. I was annoyed. I was like, this is bullshit. But like, he was just like, I'm going to write this person.
and I did, but 2 hours later.
Yeah.
Right?
So you paused,
I had to wait.
right?
I had to say, okay, you can't go at this like you're 19 years old, and it was a fight outside a pub. You have to kind of do it with a certain sensibility. So it's like, how are you going to articulate this that you're not trying to decimate somebody while you're just trying to deliver a message? So I had to stop, think, and then I did it. And I did it well. I think What did I do well? Do you
you do
think?
it
No,
well?
Did I do well? You saw it firsthand.
I mean, so far so good.
You could just be honest. Like if you think it was
No,
was it too harsh?
Do you think I wouldn't be honest with you? Like honestly,
I don't know.
Do you think I wouldn't tell
Well,
you?
am I getting in the middle of it?
No. I'm just
I would easily, like, any chance I can shit on him, I will take it. Like,
yeah. But I was
no.
pretty calm
Yeah.
in my response. I think. Yeah.
No, I think it was fine.
I took my time with it. Yeah. So,
Yeah, no, I think it's fine.
That's part of growing, though.
Right. And
but
emotional
getting mad is
intelligence.
yeah, exactly. But getting mad, I like getting mad.
I like getting mad.
I do, I like it.
I miss it when I don't get
It
mad.
feels good, right? It's that
it does.
release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, isn't it nice to sometimes have an enemy? Like, I mean, I know that sounds terrible to say, but like sometimes it's really nice not
Okay.
to like.
This is another thing I learned. Maybe you didn't know this. People with ADHD thrive off of spite.
Okay.
It's a motivator for people with ADHD.
Well,
spite.
that makes sense for my whole life.
Me too.
I was like, I don't like having enemies. I'm just all about like, let's all be friends.
No. But you, like, it's complicated, Donna. Like, it's like, we all want to be friends. You're like, we're all in the same
This whole
space
show is
right
about
now.
making friends.
Yeah, this whole show is about friends, and it's about bringing people into the center and like kind of like trying to make people agree, even people that disagree politically or religiously or whatever. It's not like that.
Yeah.
But enemies are good because they kind of feed a little bit of your.
It's true, right?
A little bit of your.
right, and and I mean, I'm a poor kid from a small town, so you're always trying to prove something, right? So
Sure.
the more like when someone
Yeah.
says you can't do it, or like you'll never be able to do that, it makes
like,
you
let's
fight
go.
a little.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my favorite thing. Like, and it felt good to be mad this morning because I didn't get mad much these days. I'm pretty relaxed.
I am of two people, and I think I've probably said this on the show before a little while ago, but I'm of two people. I am very, kind of sensitive to people who may be going through a rough time and have different range of emotions. And like anyone who's ever worked for me, like as a manager, people have always felt comfortable talking to me and I've always wanted to guide them through and blah, blah, blah. That being said, I don't actually apply those rules to myself. I don't. I know I don't.
So, Donna, we asked you after you. So, do you feel or not feel that it's good to have an enemy sometimes? Like in your own, do you feel like a little like?
I hope you're enjoying a pint with us. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, it's Chip here from Don't Overthink It, Chip. Big shout out to the Afternoon Pint Media team for managing my content creator career. If your business needs support, big or small, hit up Afternoon Pint and learn more about our reputation for boosting foot traffic with curated storytelling for your business.
I think it's maybe I wouldn't maybe label it as an enemy, but I think it's good to have somebody who challenges you, right, and pushes you outside your comfort zone. I mean, I feel like I have an enemy now, and that just pisses me off. But no, absolutely. I think it's always good to have somebody who. I mean, I love being challenged, right? I don't like someone to say like yes all the time, yes, dear, or yes. Like challenge me, just like show me why I should change my opinion, or show me why you're right and I'm not. Right?
And you don't need that all the time either.
No, but you do need a little bit of fire, right? You need a little bit of fire.
Everybody, I think
Yeah.
everybody. I think it's good.
Yeah, I absolutely, I agree.
Yeah,
I love a good argument.
Yeah, me too.
great.
Oh, yeah.
Like Matt and I made friends over arguing.
That's true.
Like,
Oh, really?
How
like so
basically we
20
became
years
friends.
ago, like our friendship was a dispute. Like it started off. I'm like, he was politics. He was on one side of the tracks. I was on the other at the time, and that's literally where how the ball got rolling. I'm like, why do you think that, buddy? Like, and then
I love that.
It did not start off nice. It was started off. I mean, but the thing is like I loved him immediately because I'm like, okay, cool. He's not like backing down, or he's not getting, he's engaging, and
You can't hurt my feelings,
And
basically. You can't.
and
Right.
but he's smart about it. He was very intellectual about like what we were arguing with, whatever it was at the time, and it was just like that's cool. I made a friend.
Well, I think that's why this show works, is because Mike and I are both curious about knowing about lots of different things.
Yep.
We generally want to come and talk to people, and where some people are just like, they get their blinders on, And it's just like, this is all I know, or this is all I care about, and that's it. And that's not us. We're like, let's talk to everybody. That's why when we were telling you did the right thing for your podcast, like you picked a niche and you went like, that's podcasting 101. Pick a niche, stick to it, because every week those same people are going to show up because they know what they're getting. That is not our show. You will show up and you'll be like, what are they talking about this time? And that is because we can't stick to one thing.
But back to you to compliment your show, Kay, because we need to get way off.
Back
us.
to me,
No
Matt.
more talking about us.
I was saying she did the right thing in
You
podcasting.
definitely did the right thing with your show to kind of have a focus. You're helping people that, in life, we have these sudden upsets and everything bad can possibly happen. And you, like Donna, by the sounds of things, done everything right. You've raised your kids. You're still working for an incredible job here, doing an incredible thing for people, right? We feel in life we don't deserve stuff sometimes, and things just the whole cart upsets our way, and we got to pick up the pieces kind of thing and start over. And it's like, it's too late for this stuff, right? Like, I don't want to deal with this now in life.
Right. Yeah. I'm like 55.
Right.
So I'm like, man, I thought like I was going to get to the point where life is going to get easy. But I think it also, it keeps you going and yeah.
In a sense, it's good, because if it wasn't authentic, then, you're living a more authentic version of yourself now, which is inherently better, right?
And you're learning. Like, you learn from everything that happened in your life, right? And like this 2025, like I said, was just horrific. And the loss of my sister was, absolutely devastating. She's my big sister.
How did your sister pass away?
She had pancreatic cancer. And
hit her quick kind of deal?
Hit her very quick. She was supposed to start chemo on the 9th of September and then had an infection. And she ended up going to emergency on the 21st of September. They admitted her. They weren't quite sure what happened. The Monday she was okay. Tuesday she was like, she wasn't really, like, she was seen like having some hallucinations, like, oh, she saw her dead dog outside the hospital window. And by Thursday, she was in palliative care. On the Friday, they told us that she had like days left. And so that was, and she passed away on October 2nd. And it was just very
You guys
fast.
close? And you,
We were super close. Like, she was my biggest cheerleader, my support person.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, so it was really tough. And then like right after that, my dog Nellie was diagnosed with terminal cancer. So I just lost her 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been like,
How old was Nellie?
she was 6. She had
still
terminal.
young.
Yeah.
What kind of dog was Nellie?
A golden retriever.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Yeah. She was a sweet girl, and she came to work every day with me. So they did, on her final day here, they did a little photo shoot with her. And all the staff and volunteers were saying their goodbye. It was like very emotional, but so my, I started the podcast, but I started a company called Nellie & Co. Creative Studio. And so under that umbrella is the podcast, but also something called the Pink Door Collective, which is a network of women supporting women. And we've had like one wine and cheese. We will continue to like host events so that it's not a business networking event. It's a personal networking event. So women, whatever, if it's job loss or divorce or like empty nester, whatever that transition is in your life, just grab a glass of wine and meet some other women. And so we're building that. And we have a lot of cool collaborations coming up that we're super excited about.
Sounds great.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that would appreciate that time.
Yeah, no, I'm sure there would be.
Yeah, because there's probably a lot more women that are suffering through stuff like this than we realize.
There is.
Right?
And interesting enough, we actually have quite a few male followers. And so both Meg and I received...
They're just trying to meet chicks.
Yeah, that's it.
they're all single.
They're like, this is a good space for me. Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, we get like messages all the time, like, thank you for being so vulnerable. And like, thank you for sharing your story. And it's really hard to make yourself that vulnerable, right? Like sometimes I re-listen to the podcast and I'm like, should I actually like say that stuff?
Yeah, it's good you're doing it.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting to a weird world, like where the future is so uncertain. Like, I think being human is probably one of the best things we can be doing right now, and
Yeah,
making
that's
every
true.
effort to do that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and helping more people come together however they are, wherever they're at in life, right?
Right.
Could probably help with a lot of things.
Yeah, and that's what people said. They're like, "Oh my God, I would never have thought." Like looking at you, and like you have a great job, and you look like you're like so put together.
They're going to see a
And, like,
successful CEO, and that's all they're going to see.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
absolutely
they don't
right.
see the woman who's like on the floor and her friends are picking her up and she's like doing that. I think I've destroyed my voice because you always, in movies when you hear women do that, like just screech, right?
Yeah.
Right,
I
yeah.
actually did that. Like when he moved out, and because I begged him not to move out, I'm like, please don't do this to us. Don't.
Yeah.
And I did that screech, and I my voice has never been the same. So having somebody, having many people pick me up, like you don't see people who come into my office don't see that first.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right.
And it's important that, we're all human and we all have our own stories and we're all going through shit. Like there's not one person in this world that doesn't have some kind of shit going on in their life.
And I think it's important to show that there's strength in that. It's not weakness, right? Like there is a strength in one asking for help, and like you shouldn't have to be ashamed just because you're a badass CEO doesn't mean you can't have vulnerable moments and feel like you're at a low or something like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Donna, cheers to all your friends, first and
Thank you.
foremost.
Cheers to my friends.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, that's amazing that there's people in your life that came to help you out and come together for you. Gosh, wish everybody could have that.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is why it's pretty cool with this, this Pink Door initiative that you have is like you're kind of creating that for people
you're
who may
creating that
not
for
have
others.
it, right?
Yeah.
So like anyone can kind of show up, right?
Yeah,
Even if you're
absolutely.
just feeling lonely,
Yeah.
go
no.
make some friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have it. Like we have a website, and you can sign up to be part of the Pink Door Collective.
It's all ages, eh?
It's all ages. Like we're really focused on it's all women. No men allowed.
So we're
no
not allowed to
offense.
show up.
No, you can't show up.
Can't bring beer. You
No.
have to drink wine, and you can't be a guy.
It's Signals night
So-
down at the Pink Door, I hear,
You can
buddy.
come to the can come to the shed.
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
can't
yeah.
come to the Pink Door
There
Collective.
you go.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But our audience really is 40 to 60-year-olds, but if a 30-year-old woman wanted to come, as long as she doesn't
96
mind being
years
around
old,
like the
strolls in there.
old girls, she can
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's awesome. Man, I think we should get into our 10 questions, brother.
Yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree. And you know what? I did the 10 questions a little differently this time. I don't know if you saw that.
What did you do?
So instead of numbering
gosh,
them,
this is gonna be hard.
instead of numbering them, I put them there so that you can check them off.
to help me out. You're a good man.
There you
Thanks.
go.
What happens is we do the 10 questions every week. They're
Yeah.
always really silly, but then I get lost every week in whatever question we ask.
So when we ask a question, you can check it off. You know not to ask that one.
Okay, cool.
You can pick any question as long as it's not checked.
Who's going first?
Go for it, brother.
All right, cool. All right, question number 1. So these are random. They should be weird. Okay, and this one's sentimental. What do you think makes a house truly feel like a home?
That's a good question. For me, it's just connection, like, and my dog, Nellie. Everybody should have a Nellie. Wow, that's such a good question.
I think you answered it already.
Yeah, no, I think so.
Like,
Yeah. Connection is it. Yeah.
Connection. You have dog you come home to. We got a dog, a couple cats, and then they're your whole world.
Your
like,
kids,
kid.
there's nothing better than hanging out. I mean, my son's 17 now, have a 22-year-old daughter and a 31-year-old son. There is nothing better when they want to hang out with me.
Yeah,
Right?
that's fair.
So
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
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 Matt and I both just sat through the Super Mario movies with our kids last week, and
Yeah,
it's
we
still
took
the
the Super
coolest thing
Mario
in the
movies.
world just because the kid wanted to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
right?
teenager wanted to go see a movie.
Right. It
Let's
is
go.
so rare when like they're like, "Hey, mom, do you want
Mine's
to?"
4.5, but it's still pretty awesome.
Yeah, super
All right,
cool.
question number 2. So what responsibility do you think, obviously, what responsibility do you think that individuals have versus governments when it comes to solving the housing crisis?
I would like to hear more from individuals how important homeownership is, because I've, in the past couple of years, you read different articles like the percentage of people who would prefer to rent is rising versus home ownership. And it's like, is that true data? Because there's no option,
Interesting.
right? There's no option for a 30-year-old who has one income
Right.
and making, $60,000 to go out and buy a house. So I think, it would be great for people to really talk about home ownership and whether or not, if there were no barriers to home ownership, would they want to own a home?
That's a great question.
Great question.
Yeah.
Or a great answer, sorry.
Your great question. Great answer. Yes. Go over to you.
How do you define a successful life today in 2020? What year is it? 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2026.
I think it's being happy and being true to yourself. I think that what I have learned in my short 55 years is that being authentic and trying not to please everyone, like please yourself, like make sure that you're taking care of yourself before taking care of others. It's like being on that plane. They say, put the mask on before you put it on someone else, because, and we don't do that enough. We're looking out for everyone else and not ourselves.
Self-care is important. I just had a pedicure on the weekend.
Oh, nice.
Do it up.
Look at
It's
that.
best.
Nice toes.
All right. Next
Pedicures the
question.
feet or the hands?
Pedicures feet.
Okay.
I've never had a manicure,
No.
but I've had many pedicures.
Okay.
They're the best. Okay. So this is actually a question really we kind of touched on a little bit, but do you think that people can truly understand poverty without experiencing it?
No.
No?
I don't think they can. I mean, I spent some time in Vancouver. I had the opportunity, to go out there quite a bit and literally sit on the sidewalks with people who are experiencing homelessness.
Yeah.
And, you come back here and people have all these stereotypes about, their mental health or addictions, or they're just lazy or this or that. And unless you can have ever experienced that, like, I feel like we're all one paycheck away from losing our homes at times, right? So I honestly, I mean, I work with people. I still don't fully understand what that means. I mean, that's just my perspective. Right?
No, well, that's
It's a good perspective.
I think it's I mean I would probably agree with that. All right. Next question.
Do you think communities shape people more or people shape communities?
I think people shape communities for sure.
100%.
I think they can. I do unfortunately think that sometimes a community can
Communities can sometimes be passive.
or like, as we were talking before, I think sometimes the community in which you live in and the opportunities that you're given can unfortunately impact people and keep them down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can I just
Please
respond to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So years ago, my ex-husband and I were building a house in Spryfield. And I, for the longest time, I mean, this is back in 2001. Because of the perception, I always told people we were just one street over from Williams Lake Road.
Okay. Yeah.
And I would never actually say that I lived in Spryfield.
Yeah.
And then after a couple of years living there, you'd go into Sobeys and people have their Spry Town Proud fits on.
Yeah.
Man, that was the best community
It's a
I've
great community.
ever
Spryfield's
lived
awesome.
in.
It's awesome.
Ever, right?
Absolutely. I think the same thing.
Yeah, and after 2 years, I was like, people would say where are you from? I'm like, I'm from Spryfield. That's where we live. And I feel like people shaped that community, right? There's a real sense.
Yep.
I mean, I moved from there in 2007, but I worked in the community. I sat on some boards, but my neighborhood and just I loved it, and I would move back there in a heartbeat.
It's changed a lot in the last 10 years, but I grew up there. I'm from Herrick, spent a lot of my time in Spryfield. And even 20 years ago, 20 years ago and further, it had a really bad reputation. But even back then, I'd say sometimes it's good to be from Spryfield.
Yeah.
Okay. We're getting to funner questions here
Yeah.
now. What's a useless skill that you're proud of? A useless skill, hobby, or anything that you like doing that you're just uniquely proud of that, serves nothing, just your own amusement. Or the
I can
amusement of
hula
others.
hoop for about 2 hours. I can
Whoa,
watch an
for 2
entire
hours?
movie hula hooping.
What?
That's insane.
Yeah.
I
could
can't
not
hula
do
hoop
that.
for 2 minutes.
I couldn't do it for a minute and a half, dude.
Yeah, I've watched a full movie in front of the TV, hula hooping.
Holy smokes.
Wow. You must have the Wii, the Nintendo Wii thing. You must have killed that back in the day.
I can't do the Wii thing. It has to be a
No?
real hula hoop.
Real hula hoop? Okay.
That was probably one of the best answers we ever had.
Good
Because
answer.
some people will give us like, you know, it's like, okay, well, that's kind of like a serious skill or whatever. That was actually like, yeah, that was
a good
great.
answer.
That was one of the best. All right. So if Habitat for Humanity had a mascot, what would it be?
We do actually. It's a mannequin that we call Habby.
That's great.
It scares the shit out of me every time I go upstairs.
Okay. So there you go.
I think, do you know what? If we had a mascot, it would be a really fluffy teddy bear, because having a home feels very secure, and there's nothing more secure than hugging a big fluffy teddy bear.
Okay.
Good answer.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Over to you.
All right. What's your most chaotic? This is like, I like this question. What's your most chaotic? This did not go as planned moment. Like, you know, you had something all figured out and it just blew up.
My last 7 years. I tried to, last year, my pool started to collapse, and I tried to duct tape it. Actually, I used duct tape, and the duct tape stuck to my arms and removed the hair. And yeah, and then the dog got in the pool and was swimming. And then, yeah, so I figured it out with the help of friends, my dear friends. But it was very chaotic. I thought, you know, I can do this.
Did you ever see that infomercial where the guy slaps the
Yes.
tape on the aquarium and stops the leak? Is
Oh,
that
no,
what?
no.
It says
'cause
they're
I was-
selling some sort of like,
What was that?
It was some sort of like,
It's seal tape. I actually
Seal
bought
tape,
some.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say she probably either didn't watch enough or watched too much Red Green growing up.
Red green duct tape fix everything.
The duct tape,
The
right?
duct tape fits everything. All right, next song. That's what the
Are we
question
singing
is.
now?
Yeah.
All right.
Next.
Okay,
Oh, it's mine. It's
Okay.
mine. Give it to me.
Go ahead. You got this.
This is why I said song. So if your life had a theme song, what would it be?
I actually thought about this the other day, and I was like, that's such a good song. And now I'm like totally blank. You got me. I'm going to think. See, now I've gone blank. It feels like so much pressure.
These questions are
What's
dreaded.
that? What's that? The chick song about Earl?
Oh, Earl dies or whatever. Yeah, I
No,
remember that song.
That sounds too mean.
No.
No, that's not my theme song.
No.
Oh my gosh. I'm like totally blank.
That's all right. We can move
And
on.
do you know what's so funny? Because
You have a sip of your beer if
I'm
if
like
you can't answer the
so
question.
into music too. So
Yeah.
I'm like, it really stumped me. I'm like, we'll come back to this. Can I think for a minute?
Tub
Or is
thumper.
this like, or is this not what we're allowed to do? Is this like rapid fire?
That you're
kind
just
of
supposed to have a
about
drink and move on. That's okay.
Okay, let's
yeah,
move
all
on.
right, yeah,
Let's move on.
We'll give her tub thumper. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
There you go.
How's
That's
that?
great.
That's perfect.
There you go.
Whiskey
All
drink,
right,
vodka drink.
Yeah, I love that. Perfect.
All right.
Your turn.
In the movie about your life, what actress do you think would play you?
Play me? Well, everyone used to say that Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah.
Yeah, I looked like Daryl Hannah. I don't know if that's still true. But
I can see the blonde features. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But I think like personality wise, Cameron Diaz, because we're both like goofy and funny and just love to make fun of ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. Great answer.
That's a great answer.
All right.
All right, last call. This is it. We're
All done.
we're going to do the advice question, or
Yeah, do the advice question.
Yeah, okay, that's probably more appropriate
Good,
right now. Yeah.
Good for Donna.
Exactly. All right, so last call, we asked a question that is, what is one piece of advice that you were given in your lifetime that you'd like to give us and our listeners?
As a leader, always people are going to stay with you because they trust you, not because, they love the work. So they stay with you. I've always been told, like, build trust.
Yeah.
Relationships are built on trust, and that's the most important thing in any relationship. And so my team knows that trust is the biggest thing with me, and they can screw up. Like, I don't care how bad they screw up as long as they own it. Like, own it. Accountability and trust are huge to me. So
Amazing.
yeah.
It's good advice.
Yeah, I agree.
Cheers to you, Donna.
Cheers, yeah.
Thank you
Plug
so
your show.
much.
What's the name of your show?
She Shed Unfiltered.
She Shed Unfiltered.
You can find us on
Great
Spotify,
name. Great
Apple.
name. Spotify, Apple.
Come to the ReStore.
Come to the ReStore.
Support Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah. Get your bathroom redone.
Yeah.
In the back room here. There's lots of options.
My shoes.
Yeah.
there you go.
$10. Brand new.
Pretty darn cool.
Yeah, I almost bought them at Winners for $10 or $50.
There you go.
She gets first dibs on all of it.
Yeah, I know.
No, they have to be on the floor before I can
Perks
buy
of the
them.
job. Yeah. Yeah. Right on. Anyways, it was really
Thank
great
you very
chatting.
much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Take
This was
care.
fun.
We should do it again.